So there's two main methods. The first one is to send parents out a welcome email to log into their account. You do that from the parents screen and you click Create Accounts. Now, we can only create an account if someone has an email address in the system. You can find out who does or doesn't by filtering on that column. So here's all my parents I don't have emails for yet, so I might, next time they're in, ask them for their email address. In most centres, I've seen 90% or more of parents already have email addresses. Obviously that makes it easier to send them their statements. You can also see which ones already have portal accounts. So all of these parents have portal accounts, only a few, the rest don't. So I've previously created portal accounts for everybody who has an email address. So let me just go to Tiara here and give her an email address. Now, because I've just done this for this one parent, I know she's the only one missing out, I can straight away create an account while I'm here. Create user account. Warning that this is what it's about to do, is create a portal account for the parent with that email address. Yep, that's fine, okay. You see I've now got additional information. There is, portal status says the account has been created and it's linked to that email address. The only time you would really need to unlink it is if the email address you've just entered is wrong. It's actually somebody else's email address, and I have seen that a couple of times. And then just go in, edit the parent, and add the correct email address, and recreate the account, and you're in business. So when you do that, when you go create account, it links up, it creates an account for the parent on the parent portal and emails them. So it sends them a welcome email to say, your account's been created, here are your details, please go to this link and log in. And that welcome email is also in the Setup Org screen, but it's on the main Setup tab. We go down towards the bottom. And the first one is the welcome email. So you control all the wording. Put the link into your application form from that profile link. And then you can preview what that looks like to the parent. Dear parent, and the parent's first name will be inserted there. And here's some instructions. Your center details, your logo, and a message powered by Smart Central just at the bottom so they know where the email has come from. So creating that account sends off that welcome email. That's one way to get your parents into the parent portal. The other process, which you can use instead of or as well, is the re-enrolment process. So once again, back on the parents list. Now, in the re-enrolment process, we've given you a bit more control over who you do or don't send them to. So with Create Accounts, anyone with an email address in that service who doesn't already have an account will get one created. With the re-enrolment process, you choose individually which parents you want the re-enrolment to go to. So if I tick in the header column on the left, it will select all parents. And that's what you'll do most of the time. But you might have a reason to drop one particular parent out. You just go and unselect them. And now it's going to send to everybody else. Or the reverse. So I can untick them all and just say, I just want to send this to 3 parents. maybe they need a reminder, or I didn't have their email addresses the first time. So as long as they've got at least one parent ticked, the re-enrolment button will become visible. I click on that, choose the date. So normally this time of the year you're doing it for the start of the new year. Let's say 7th of January is our first day back. And normally you'll want to pre-fill the application. So pre-filling means taking all the data that's currently held and putting it in the application form. So the parent doesn't need to re-enter everything you've already got. They can just make the changes they need to and send it back. But if for some reason you want to send a blank application form out, at least 2 reasons I've seen that done. First was a centre who thought if they sent it all out, then the parents would just click submit and wouldn't actually enter anything. I guess that's a valid concern. The second one was the centres had just moved across from another system, so the data that we had for them, they weren't confident in. They didn't want to send it to the parents. They just wanted to send blank application forms and get it all back. So if you don't want pre-fill, click Do Not Pre-Fill. If you do want to pre-fill, leave that unticked, and then just go Confirm. And that will create those application forms and send the re-enrolment email. The content of that re-enrolment email is also in a template, set up org. Right next to the welcome template is the re-enrolment template. And put whatever instructions you want to leave for your parents there. We actually do have a link to a video on how to fill out an application form. If your parents need that extra guidance, you can embed that in your email, your welcome email or your re-enrolment email. And there's the preview with the embedded links. Now, if you've sent the welcome email and 80% of your parents have filled it out, but there's still 20% who haven't touched it, and you want to come back and resend it, just go in and edit that welcome email, change the wording a bit. Maybe you want to make your message a bit firmer for those. Give them a deadline. Always works better than no deadline. And then resend it, and it will go to the ones who haven't completed. So there's one last way of inviting the parent in that I want to cover, because you might use this for setting up a new parent. So if I've got a first timer just walked in the door, I can create a very basic profile for the parent. So I go New Parent. So I've just created the most basic possible of parent profiles. I haven't put any address information. I've just put their name, date of birth, and email. And I go Create User Account. And the parent will receive, the account's created, they'll receive an email, and then go and fill that out online. All the parent and child details, you don't have to enter anything else. So these are 3 different ways to get the parents onboarded for the parent portal. The just one parent approach for new starters, the send a welcome email to everyone, or the send the re-enrolment process with a pre-filled application form or a partially or a blank application form.